All right, let's get a new 30-minute game going. We got the black pieces today. Expecting as always to see 1e4, c6. We'll get the caro-kann on the board. Let's turn this volume up a little bit. d4, d5 coming up next, most likely. I also sometimes see knight to f3, but we respond in the same way, no big deal. Other setups I've seen, hillbilly attack, bishop out to c4, nothing to fear from that. Knight out to c3, a little bit passive, but not terrible. They get their queen out to f3, very interesting. We'll go ahead and proceed with our plan. They're maybe trying to set up a scholar's mate, but that's simply not going to do the trick. They push. Oh, this is interesting. So ordinarily, I would like to get my bishop out, but that doesn't seem like it's going to be an option because both of these spots are attacked by their queen, and we can't get our knight out to support it. So I think we probably just need to close up the center immediately. I guess we could play... no. Knight to c7... or knight to d7 is probably coming next. That does attack this pawn. But... they can push, and then it attacks our knight. We have to capture their f-pawn. That looks nasty. So I think we just close up our center immediately, and then play knight to d7 to attack this pawn. Now I guess knight to d7 is out of the question. So I think we'll push c5 here. Open up a little bit of space for our pieces. This is very interesting. We got a pretty cramped position right out of the gate. Yeah, knight out to c6. And then I think takes. They can probably get their bishop out to e3 to add another defender to the e4 square. In the meantime, we can get our knight out to f5. I think that's probably coming next. Of course, knight out takes. Come up like this, or we could capture with our knight. We've got a couple options. Actually, no, I think we've seen that before. I think after takes, they move their queen back. Okay, that's one way to add another defender to the d4 square. So takes. Yeah, let's go ahead and get our knight out to f5. And I think if they want to take here, that's fine. They will have some challenges defending, is my estimation. So now we have two pieces developed. Their position is a little bit cramped, but not terribly so. And our opponent only has one piece developed. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this. We've seen on occasion knight out to h4, threatening whatever piece lives here. Oh, this is interesting. This doesn't normally happen in this order. Normally our light squared bishop is out here on f5, and then our knight has come out to e7 to defend it. I want to defend this piece, and I think maybe the way to do that is... knight back to e7. I mean, that blocks in our dark squared bishop. We don't really have a way to force this trade. Maybe we just go ahead and take here. They only have one defender on it right now. Yeah, I think so. And then if we're forced to capture with... Ugh, this is... I don't like this very much. They go ahead and capture. All right. So we can take back here, and we're down a piece, which I don't love. And our e6 defender is a very nice defender in this position, but I think I don't want to be down material. I think we do have to take and then sort of rely on our d5 pawn. Dead curious. This is a really interesting position. They take our pawn back. That allows us to capture here. Is their knight coming anywhere else dangerous? Let's take a look real quick. I don't believe so. So all of these are pretty passive. Back this way. Our f5 pawn is protected by our light squared bishop. Great. This b5 does threaten c7, but we have our queen defending that square right now, so I'm not worried about that. c6 will be defended by our pawn, and then this is also defended by our light squared bishop and a pawn. So I'm happy to take here. And then, not sure what to do next. They've traded off their light squared bishop, so I guess they do have queen out check, but since we have our light squared bishop, we can play it out to d7, attacking back, which I think looks nice. This is really interesting. Queen out, bishop, maybe knight comes out. No, they get their queen out, hitting our knight, really pinning our knight. Very well done. So I think we get our dark squared bishop out to... Oh, this is so interesting. Dark squared bishop out to d6. They have knight out to b5. And then they can trade. Gosh, is there a better way to defend this piece? Queen out to e7. I like bishop out a little bit better. That allows us to get castled, and then maybe we can get a rook out onto e8. Maybe ideally pinning their queen to their king. So let's get this piece developed real quick. If they want to come out here, I think we have to allow that, unfortunately. If they take, we can take back. Yep, so they get castled. I think we will do the same. And we have maybe an opportunity here to create our battering ram. Okay, let's go ahead and get castled. All right, we're out of danger. We have this interesting advanced pawn here that I'm not really sure what I want to do with yet. It is protected by our light squared bishop. They add another attacker to our knight, which I think we can... we can't... Can't safely move it out of the way. I guess we could. They'd take, and then we take back. Let's see. We can move our knight to this nice... I guess we have a couple of nice outposts for our knight. These are both interesting. I don't know what to do with this pawn on f5. It's so curious. So like out here, takes. And then we have, if their knight comes out, we have queen takes on g2 checkmate. That looks really good. So let's take advantage of this outpost for our knight. And then if they want to trade, their bishop is undefended right now. We have some very dangerous checkmating ideas. We also have rook out to e8, hitting their queen. If they do want to move their knight out, we have just bishop takes bishop, picking up a free piece. Yeah, this feels pretty good. Strange opening. I've never seen queen out to f3 before, I don't think. And it does seem to be pretty effective. Our opponent has a little bit of a lead in our development, I would say. Okay, so we take here. And now we're threatening checkmate on h2. Knight to b5 looks like a good move, but for the fact that knight to b5 or... Okay, it's not going to do it, I'm afraid. And we just get checkmate here on h2. All right, quick game this morning, 15 moves. We've got just under 10 minutes on the clock. Let's take a look at the review. Switch to the analysis board. Switch to the analysis board. There we go. Yeah.
One of my favorite, setting yourself up for a solid game with...
Hush. The review person. Queen to f3 is good. I think we play well. E5 is good. And then closing up the center looks like the move. The engine is also advocating for an immediate c5, which I like closing up the center a little bit better. Here, c5 is best. Great. They play c3. c6 is best. We have a number of best moves. d1 is excellent, so they find a way to defend their pawn. That's interesting. Queen over to e3 was a little bit better even, slightly less passive. Yeah, d3 was a strong move. Takes. This is so interesting. Yep, so we're pinned. Breaking the pin with queen to d7. It looks a little bit stronger. I guess that's sort of interesting. If they castle and then we get our knight out to g4. So we do this. They castle, we get our knight out to g4. The queen isn't hanging because it's protected by this knight, but I think a trade looks really advantageous. Okay, we get castled. That's great. Threatening to win a knight. We get knight out to g4. Looks decent. f6. Also an idea here. Often an idea in the caro-kann. I don't know if I would have considered it with this pawn structure here. But often once they've traded off their light squared bishop, I'm less worried about attacks down this light squared diagonal. They take, we take, and then we have this huge checkmating threat that our opponent overlooks. And we hit him with checkmate on move 15. Quick game today. Not too much to get into other than this very interesting queen to f3 right out of the gate. So I think an interesting idea, but not the strongest move in the caro. Cool. Yeah, and even here we're showing a little bit of an advantage for black, just a little bit. But I think we have a pretty nice position here. These pawns, I think, would be interesting in the end game. I would be excited to play this through a little bit more some other time. But I think that's all for me for now. Have a good one.